Moving on from question 3 of Reading Comprehension Drill Set number 5 over at lawhub.lsac.org, we're going to click our next button and we see another question that actually functions as an overall main idea task that we would want to attempt on our first pass through the questions, relying primarily on just our main idea highlights that we executed in our upfront read. So we've got the task, the passage most strongly suggests that the author holds which of the following views. So I'm going to just highlight strongly suggests that the author holds which. And I know I can't just highlight view, but views is going to be fine for the purposes of this. And I do not want to hunt and peck. I'm going to rely just on the big picture. And if we're down to 2 or 3 answer choices that seem reasonably related to that main idea, we'll reread targetedly, but we want to avoid hunting and pecking and cross-checking everything very closely because it's just not efficient under the time constraints of the exam. So choice A reads, it takes less time for astronauts to become acclimated to low gravity conditions under the alternative plan than it does under conventional plans. Well, becoming acclimated to low gravity has nothing to do with these plans. You're going to be affected by the gravity whether you launch from Earth or have this whole thing where you might be setting everything up on Mars and kind of launching from Mars. So that idea of low gravity is completely outside of the concerns of the big picture and the two plans that are the two types of plans that have been presented. So we should be able to eliminate A without, again, engaging the passage all that much, if at all. Then choice B, lunar missions did not allow sufficient time for fruitful exploration and experimentation by astronauts. Well, we're not concerned with the lunar missions. We don't know anything about how much time was spent there on the moon. We're talking about Mars. So we should be able to eliminate B as needing additional information, not pertaining to that main idea at all. Then, choice C, under the alternative plan, the crew of a mission to Mars would suffer negligible health damage from interplanetary radiation. Well, the same as with the low gravity. You're still going to be affected by the flying from Earth to Mars. So the plan doesn't change the amount of time you're in flight. You're just flying. I mean, it's going to be a problem. So the radiation, that is. So then moving on to choice D, the total fuel consumption involved in the alternative plan would be roughly the same as that involved in conventional plans. Well, actually, there's not. We recall that the alternative plan was based on the idea I'm going to basically have multiple flights. I'm going to be flying to Mars with the resources and the materials, and then I'm going to be flying to Mars with the astronauts. So it's not going to be roughly the same. And we can eliminate choice D as literally a reversal of the main ideas. And then choice E, one factor on which the value of an expedition to Mars depends is the amount and quality of work that can be done during that expedition. And we are trying to find a value of or kind of justifying the value of an expedition to Mars. And this is where we had that issue of restricting the amount of exploration and experimentation. And that's the amount and quality of work. And it matches one of our underlines, and that's why we did the underlines, because they just so happen to be the details that we rightfully thought might be important. They just weren't important to our main idea. So choice E is justified by that underline talking about restricting the exploration and the amount of exploration and experimentation, and is, of course, the correct answer for number 4, a kind of hidden main idea question that you want to avoid hunting and pecking for, because that's just going to take too much time. And hopefully you can use this same approach when you see future no reference inference questions such as this.